And he's been tested lately? He hasn't fought anybody.
But he's never lost.
He's never lost.
In his career. 33
Since
fights.
he's come back, since the Pride days, listen, if he was still fighting the caliber of fights from the Pride days, I wouldn't argue with you one bit.
Right.
He is so far from being the best.
Where do you have him?
Huh?
Would you put him top 5?
He hasn't fought anybody. The thing that you have to understand is if you take a guy like
never lost, ever.
Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, BJ Penn, any of the guys that are in the top tier in the heavyweight, they're fighting the best fighters in the world 3 times a year.
That's why I think GSP, he's been tested with Fitch.
Well, you just said, well, Anderson Silva was hurt, he's been out. GSP was just hurt now for a while too.
Yeah, but
this guy hasn't lost. He just broke the record for most wins in the UFC, for most title defenses. He's got, he's moving up and down in 2 different fucking weight classes. Do you think George St. Pierre could go up to 80? I don't even want St. Pierre to go to 85.
Why not?
Because he's a huge star, and I don't want to see him go to 85. He's doing just fine at 170. Anderson Silva, I believe he can go to 85 and could compete at heavyweight too. He's that fast, that talented, and that good.
He is.
Pound for pound, best fighter in the world, boxing, pinochle, any other fighting sport out there, he's the best. I don't know how anybody can debate that. It's crazy to me.
Was the GSP fight?
And anybody to put Fedor in the #1 pound for pound in the world spot, it just makes no sense to me.
It has nothing to do with the politics of him not being in the UFC or whatnot. I think.
But how can you give him the respect when he hasn't fought the guys? I mean, these guys are fighting 3 times a year, the best fighters in the world, but you're going to give him the respect? Makes no sense.
I think it does.
Absolutely makes no sense.
It does. Because also, I don't consider, like, in
Ding,
the middleweight
ding, ding,
division
ding,
right
ding.
now, like, yes, okay, Silva went up to fight James Irvin. The Forrest Griffin thing was one of the most amazing, spectacles I've ever seen.
We have it in slow motion where he slips.
Yeah, he only
his
landed
jab,
one punch. He only
slips
landed
his
one
right
punch.
hand, goes away from the hook, and then throws. Who the does that?
But I don't think Silva.
Nobody does that.
Like, I mean, it's 1A, 1B, 1C. I'm not saying there's a huge discrepancy in the guys, but I'm
I
looking
know.
at these little
And listen,
factors.
there's no doubt. George St. Pierre is the #2 pound for pound fighter in the world. I think Anderson Silva is #1. I'm just going crazy on you because you got Fedor #1 and you got Anderson Silva #3.
I was just trying to rile you up for
That's
the camera.
crazy. The show's over, but I'm just telling you.